Right, good morning and welcome back. Today we're going to keep going with SOHCAHTOA, solving right triangles. We're going to do a brief review of what to do if there's word problems. So once again, if you haven't watched the videos before this, you might want to do those first just to refresh on SOHCAHTOA. But this is something you learned in geometry, so we're not spending that much time on it. So we'll just fill in here. Sine, remember, is O over H, opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is a over h, or adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is O over a, or opposite over adjacent. Now, for those to have meaning, we have to have a right triangle. So we need to draw a right triangle in each of these situations to understand what's going on. So this first question, it says, a ship offshore from a vertical cliff. Okay, so we've got a vertical cliff, and offshore somewhere is this ship. Okay, so let me draw my ship. All right, and it says that the vertical cliff is 100 feet tall. And the key word here, vertical, we know it goes straight up and down, okay, which means a right angle is formed when that cliff touches the water. Okay, now it says the angle of elevation is 25 degrees. So angle of elevation, if we think about it, elevate means to go up. So this angle formed right here we know is 25 degrees. And the question asks is how far offshore is this ship? Okay, so I want to know what this side is, that missing side. Now, the first thing we want to do, once again, is label. Hypotenuse is easiest. I'll label that H. Okay, now we don't need that. There's no information over there. Adjacent means next to, so our A will be our adjacent side. Opposite side is 100 feet. So we have an O and an A. O and A are with tangent, so we will need to solve this. It's going to be the tangent of 25 degrees, and that will be equal to, it's TOA, O over A, so 100 over X. Now we can cross multiply. We'll get 100 equals the tangent of 25 times X. We'll need to divide both sides by the tangent of 25. That will cancel on one side, so X will equal 100 divided by the tangent of 25. Now, to solve this, in order to do this, we can use our calculator. Remember, if you need help getting this, let me know. I can help you find it. And if you have the app, that's fine. Just make sure you are in degree mode. So mine already is, but I'll show you. If you're not sure, go to mode. You see down here, if you need to, you can change it to radians or degree. Ours is already in degrees, so I'll hit second quit. I talked about that in the last video. But 100, and we said it's divided by the tangent of 25, and the initial directions asked us around the nearest tenths place. So nearest tenths place, 1 decimal, 214.45, so we'll round up 214.5. So X will equal 214.5 feet. That is how far our ship is offshore. All right. Our next one says you are flying a kite. The kite string is 85 feet long, and an angle of elevation from you to the kite is 70 degrees. How high is the kite off the ground? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so once again, here's our little person flying our kite. And let's see, we know that there's a kite up here. My great artistic skills. And let's see, what else do we know? It says the string is 85 feet long, so right here, 85 feet. Okay, the angle of elevation is 70 degrees. Our question is how tall or how high is the kite off the ground? So that goes right here. Now here's the thing. In reality, you are probably holding the kite a certain level off the ground. Since it doesn't specify how high your hand is, let's just assume it's on the ground. So maybe you put it into the ground, you stake it down with a stake. Okay, that's what we're going to assume on this one. If it told us that your hand was 3 feet off the ground, we would add 3 on, but it doesn't in this case. So let's label now our missing sides. So we know this is our H, this is our O, this is our adjacent. We don't care about the adjacent in this problem, we just care about the O and the H, because that is where the information is. There's an X and an 85. So in our case, O and H, so sine of 70 equals O over H, so X over 85. We cross multiply, so 85 times the sine of 70. Once again, we can use our calculator, so 85 times the sine of 70. Oops, I made a mistake. So 85 times the sine of 70. All right, there we go. Hit enter, and there's our answer. Now it says in the directions round to the nearest whole number, so 79.8 will round up, so 80 feet off the ground is our answer. All right. Now we got 2 more we're going to solve here. So if we look here at the next one, this is an elm tree is cast in a shadow that's 42 feet and is 68 feet tall. So that maybe was worded a little funny. Basically, it's saying we have a tree that is 68 feet tall. And if that tree casts a shadow that is 42 feet long, we want to know what angle of elevation is formed right here. Okay, now the angle of elevation is above the ground, so right here, I want to know what that is, what that angle is. And keep in mind, we are saying that the sun, I know this is orange, I don't have a yellow option for some reason. So the sun is coming down and making that shadow of the tree. I know this is a great tree I drew. So if that's my tree, the shadow is formed, 42 feet long. Now we need to start by labeling. So compared to that angle of elevation we're trying to find, this will be our opposite, this will be our adjacent. The missing side is our hypotenuse, but we don't care about that. So tangent, because it's O and A. Now the difference on this one, the tangent of X, I don't know what the angle is. Okay, now O over A, 68 over 42. The inverse tangent of that 68 over 42 is how we will find this. And that will give us what X is. So X in this case, let's go. We'll take a look. We got to hit second tangent. That gives us that. 68 divided by 42. Close the parenthesis. Hit enter. And it says round to the nearest degree, nearest whole degree. So 58.2 will round down to 58 degrees. All right. Our final question already has a picture drawn for us, but we need to solve it. So it says 2 observers simultaneously observe an airplane overhead and between them. They measure the angle of elevation to the airplane and obtain 42 degrees and 65 degrees. The plane is 2.1 miles directly above the point shown in the figure. So right here, this is 2.1 miles. That's how far it is above the ground. We want to know what X and Y are. Now, to solve this, we're going to need 2 different triangles we need to think about. So let me draw this first one. If I trace it, and for that one, the X is adjacent, the 2.1 would be our O. Now our second triangle, it's the same exact situation. The 2.1 is still opposite, the Y is our adjacent. So for both of these, we will use tangent. We will just have a different value for our angle. So for this second one we just did, the tangent of 65 equals TOA, O over A. So 2.1 divided by y. Meanwhile, for that first one, the tangent of 42, oops, there's a 2 in there, equals O over A, so 2.1 over x. Now we cross multiply. We'd have to divide there, in that case, by tangent. For both of these, we will get 2.1 divided by the tangent. Now it will just depend on which angle it is. So 2.1 divided by a tangent of 65 for the purple one, 42 for the blue one. And we are almost done. We just got to solve it. So 2.1 divided by, it's the tangent of 42. And that comes out to be 2.3, it says to the nearest hundredth, so 2.33 miles. That's the distance of x. Now, with a steeper angle of elevation, this distance, you can see in the picture, but also it hopefully makes sense. As it's higher, this distance will be shorter. So we know we'll get a smaller number, but let's do it. 2.1 divided by the tangent of 65, and 0.979 if we round the nearest hundredth, so 0.98 miles. All right, that is all for today. Make sure we keep going. Some of us are falling behind, okay? Got to keep working. If you need help, let me know. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.